Well, if you're watching this, then likely by now you've already learned the fate of my first expedition to the Nether. No, this isn't a case of you never saw me die, so it's likely that I survived that visit to the fire pit of hell. No, I actually did die. That was quite unfortunate, and I made my way back here, albeit with far less equipment than I did the first time. And since then, things have gotten even worse. Just when you think you're at rock bottom, things suddenly and catastrophically get even worse from absolutely nowhere. And I'm going to hopefully not get too close to the edge and get knocked off by all these pigmen. But yeah, if you didn't watch the last video, I died. And then immediately after, and you wouldn't know this, I went and collected stuff back at my house and recorded a return to the Nether, but unfortunately the video that I filmed corrupted and it was lost. So here I am again. This is where I left off, like in the last little bit that I recorded. I made, a bit of progress since then, but I've come here, I've been here for a while, just been killing a lot of pigmen, making a lot of enemies of things, but I haven't found anything like super worth my time. I did revisit the Bastion, that fateful site that brought up some pretty miserable memories. Yeah, I did visit there, but there wasn't much to do, as it would have been risking my life again had I gotten back down to where I died before, and I just thought, justice will be served. I will have my revenge, whether it is in this life or the next one. But I need to stave off from making a rash decision too soon, as there were just too many risks attached to it. And as they say, revenge is a dish best served cold, so this is one that I can build on. I don't have to make any immediate decisions. I think there's another bastion in there. But again, I'm going to hold off on that, just because I really feel like those creatures that are called piglin brutes can deal half my health bar in a single blow, which I didn't realize how powerful they were, but that is catastrophically powerful, and I'm unable to compete against that, so I'm not going to go back there. I'm going to hold off until I get the right opportunity to do so, and hopefully that should come up sooner and not later, but we will see. We will see, I suppose, and my inventory is already full, so I'm going to make use of all of these gold nuggets. Yeah, it was probably pretty stupid of me to delve too deep into there, and then I made a few, like, critical errors as part of it. It was also funny, if you watch the point that I died, like, just moments before I said that I had to be careful that one of them didn't shoot me down, and then literally as I was finishing the sentence, I didn't even get to the end of the sentence, it was quickly brought up that one of them did shoot me down to the very depths of the floor, and by the time I hit the ground, I'd almost lost 9 hearts, and then I got shot again. Oh, okay, they're coming back. Yeah, I have a lot of enemies. What can I say? Not good, but doing the best that I can, and I accidentally killed, or I hit a pigman, I think, and then I've ever since then been reaping that mistake, because they've all been attacking me, and I suppose I've made plenty of levels out of it. I've probably gotten like 15 levels just out of killing pigmans alone, or pigmen, I suppose that would be the correct term. Oh well, what can you do? Immediately after, I was like in a pretty sour mood, as I'd lost everything. All of my possessions had been spoiled, had vanquished from my inventory at once, and with no hope of recovery, as it all burnt in the fire. And, I thought, like, is there any way that I can conceivably get something back? Is there any, like, recourse or redress available to me? And there's not. There's absolutely nothing. And so it's just something I'll have to live with. Not to worry. I've already renounced all worldly pleasures and affairs and material possessions, because it's how I'm going to spiritually and emotionally find a mechanism to recover from the fact I lost my brand new Protection 4 diamond chestplate. Yeah, I mean, could you even make that up? And I'm also not sure where home is. I'm gonna make my way back. Not that I really have much to bring home with me, except a bit of gold. But I forgot to tether my compass to the lodestone, so I'm going to use my coordinates to do so, and I will see you when we're closer there. Well, okay, I'm getting closer. I'm almost there. Well, I just want to try and return to sender this fireball here. Oh, so you are doing quite a bit of damage on me, sir. If I can, that would be fantastic. I might just exercise my prowess with the bow. Actually, this is close quarter. Whoop. Nope, that missed. Alright, here we go. And that passed right through you. There we go. Got him swinging, and I have a ghast here now. That's the second ghast that I've killed, I think. Second or third. Should be good enough. Yeah, I could see the portal from a little vantage point that I have, which I will show you in a moment. I just got quite distracted. Because there are also a bunch of pigmen, or piglins, sorry. I should use the correct term. I use them interchangeably. They are sort of pig-like creatures. And, do they see me? I think they do. You know. There we go. Look at that. Almost out of food too, so I certainly do want to get a move on. And I can use these mushrooms. I think I have mushrooms in my inventory? No, I don't. I'm gonna take something out. Rotten flesh, that's not necessary. I only ever use rotten flesh as dog food. I suppose you get it from the pigmen. Because they are half zombie, half pig. And there should be some belongings here for me to collect. Like so. I will do, and there's a crossbow there. Yep. I think that's everything. There's a bit of gold. But, whoa, okay, yeah. I'm gonna get a move on. I think I've had enough of this all. You leave me alone. Whoa. Escape out of here. The clutches of the mouth. Getcha. Yeah, so here we go. We're commencing with the forest. I have apples if I need. If it really comes to that point. But I shouldn't hope that it does. And I'm killing all of those things because I have vengeance that I wish to enact. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, how distantly located it is, but it's there. So I guess the route is going to be... Oof. It's a long way down. I'm not going to try and attempt to jump down there. That's for sure. The route is going to be through here, which might present even more challenges. Seriously, it's just challenge after challenge that I've had to face against. And, oh, this might be the greatest challenge of them all. How am I going to get down from there? I don't know, actually. This looks like a suitable vantage point. And I don't want to take any more damage as well, because that would just cause me to have to find a way to regenerate my health. And here we go. Whoop. Alright. And yeah, I guess you can make mushroom stew if you ever starved in the Nether. Or you could find pig meat. You could kill hogs. That would be a suitable alternative to starving. Preferred at least to starving yourself out here. And I'm going to try and find the most minimal route of the path of least resistance, I suppose, where I'm going to have to come up against as few enemies as possible. I'm almost leaping, sorry, not leaping, crawling on my hands and knees over the finish line. If only I could have known how many terrible injustices would be visited upon me. I've used the word terrible a lot throughout this, actually. Get a crossbow. If you would just stand still for a moment. And I got a experience or a new achievement out of that as well. Yeah, bow's easier. Bows, I don't know how much the difference in damages are, but bow always has seemed more powerful and effective to me. Unless you can reload ahead of time. But I'm going to use the bow in the interim. And what is that? It's a piece of hide. I suppose I can combine those two. Well, I think it's around here somewhere. Getting closer to 0, 0. Those are blocks that I would have placed too long ago. Coming up. Maybe is it down there? Looks very familiar, at the very least. Looks very familiar. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, and I can even see the lodestone as well that I did not use upon my return, and I certainly should have done that, as that would have made this whole process easier instead of having to refer to my coordinates. Get you. One more should do the trick. There we go. I do find that they change the bow mechanism, or like how arrows are shot in some of the more recent versions of the game. I don't remember them quite being the way that they were. Does that piglin have an axe? He's got a crossbow. Alright, handle the one with crossbow. The ones that have swords and axes are terrifying. There's a whole different kettle of fish there. And I'm back. Here we go, in the overworld once more. Again, it is not permanent that I should refrain from returning to the Nether. In fact, it's one of the highest points on my priority list is to get back there as soon as possible to reclaim my authority over the terrible forces of the Nether. I'm not going to let it defeat me too soon. I have a plan of attack, a plan of action, and that involves mining, and it involves starting sooner and not later. Because I don't want to be sitting in the sidelines, lurking in the shadows as some sort of like defeated and downtrodden figure. No. There's a tragic element to this story. You might even say it's a Greek tragedy, but one that is more than able to be overcome with the right application. Well, comrades, there have been important changes since I last left off, which for you would have been moments ago, but for me was quite some time ago. I went on a massive mining expedition since I last kind of kicked off here in going back to my base from the Nether, where I picked up quite a few belongings along the way. You'll note just how many diamonds that I have. As I said, it was very successful. And again, the file corrupted, which is most frustrating because it was about 45 minutes worth of the most invigorating and galvanized gameplay. It was truly, my spirit was animated and I was living out the thirst for vengeance to enact upon those pesky, those criminal, villainous, evil mobs, demonic spirits of the Nether, because I'm so ready to get back there. In fact, the mine that I chased was up there. It was that tower you could see over there. I left a waypoint so I would know exactly where to go. Yeah, so I guess I missed out on that. There's not much else that I want to do this episode. I think I'm going to end this pretty soon. There's just going to be a slight monologue you're going to have to bear through if you want to see me out to the end of the episode. Though if you'd prefer just to wait for the next one, if that's the type of person you are, then seriously, I would recommend it, because I don't think there'll be anything happening here. It'll just be giving a rundown of the plan ahead, the agenda. The agenda is very important. I've actually planted my carrot there, so the carrot is coming along. Maybe give you a brief idea for the sort of builds that I have in the pipeline, and certainly re-outline the war plan that I have. I'm developing not just a plan of attack, but this is going to be a war plan when I get back to the Nether. And I reclaim my rightful position as the authority of both the overworld and the underworld. Oh, actually, I don't want you to go back there, so I'm going to move you along. It's the only issue with having mobs or your own pets roaming free in the world is that they can accidentally, or perhaps purposefully, perhaps he intended to go, or whatever your gender is, he or she, perhaps you intended to make your way over to the Nether. I don't know. But it was certainly a strange thing, but I won't hold it against you for doing so. And my crops have been coming along. Yeah, I made quite a bit of progress. Progress is being made off camera. Unfortunately, I'm not reporting it all due to files corrupting and me guessing or coming to the determination that what I'm recording isn't so important and could easily be left out. But we're doing well enough. My armor's good. I have diamonds. I need to get to level 30 so I can start enchanting some things again, which I suppose is going to take some more time of killing mobs, and I'm going to get rid of this because it looks ridiculous just hanging there. I hate it when you lop one tree, but then the leaves don't disintegrate because it's too close to another tree and it's using that wood in order to stay alive. So it's just kind of floating there in thin air. Anyway, very frustrating. Not the end of the world, but something to look out for. And I haven't fixed that annoying hole. I might just do this, honestly, because I'm kind of sick of looking at it. And then I know that I have that above. Maybe I could go something like this, and then, oh wait, no, that won't work. That won't work at all. Give me that back. Oh well. Yeah. So what I'm thinking, as far as builds are concerned, have my house here, of course. I'm going to build like a rustic looking. It's going to be like a little like church, not necessarily church, but it's going to be this style of a church, going to be made of stone and spruce wood, and it's a build type that I've used commonly before. I'm also really interested and wanting to do some more terraforming just to improve the general layout of my base. Oh, I hit that pig. Get in there. Get in there. Feast, you hungry little man. Or again, I'm assuming your gender. And that's not something... Well, you can do it, but I suppose I could just assign you a gender. It's not like Minecraft mobs have genders. I'm trying to think of any circumstance where you'd have a gendered mob. I mean, Minecraft doesn't even have genders to begin with. Like, everyone is the same. You can customize your skin, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to make it any gender. You could pick... Yeah, the world really is a canvas. Tabula rasa. We are the makers of our fate. That's here nor there. So I'm going to do, yeah, that, besides the field of crops over there. I'm going to put a castle in. That's right. That's right. A very lofty, ambitious project that I have. But I want a castle in this world. Where I'm going to put it remains to be seen. It could go closer to my base. It could go farther away. I think I want it closer just because I want it to be like within reasonable walking distance. It's probably going to be in the direction over there towards the plains biome as opposed to backing out onto the jungle, just because I think that sort of terrain and environment would look better for a castle. I've already been like racking my mind as to what I want it to look like. Surprise, surprise, the castle's going to be made out of stone. So, could you have ever guessed that? It's going to be heaping. And, oh, good thing that I was in the correct mode there. I really need a cat. And I'm going to, like, put cats around. Oh, no, I don't want to shoot my dog. In fact, I'm just going to go inside. I'm not even going to risk it. I don't want to be messing with a creeper around my base. It's not something, not the sort of smoke that I'm after. I don't want the smoke. Yeah, I have to think about that castle. Probably not going to be immediate. Could be like 5 to 10 episodes down the track. But it's going to require a lot more resources. It's probably not going to be the largest, most impressive castle you've ever seen. But I want to do one, and I want to make it very tasteful. I like tasteful builds. Not necessarily is scale or quantity or size always the objective. Bigger is not better. You can make something work being a smaller size, being smaller in scale, and in fact, most good things come in smaller. Wow, I'm getting into it, but most great things prioritize quality over quantity, and in the case of Minecraft building, that principle applies more than ever. It doesn't have to, but in most cases, especially survival, because it's kind of difficult to manage those larger builds. Those larger projects take a lot more resources and time and planning, and the margin for error is larger as a result of that. I'm going to get a quick sleep in. It'll be morning time, and then I'm going to get started filming the next video because I'm very excited for what I have coming up. Thank you, comrades, for watching. My name is Cobblestone. I have been your humble host. Dear viewers, I hope you will join me next time. Have a good afternoon. Good evening and good night.